Hello, friends. 6th January 2004. Dubai's sandy soil started being dug to build the tallest building in the world. Around the end of 2004, world's tallest building was Taipei 101. Located in Taiwan, this building was a little over 500 meters tall, but the goal they set out to achieve in Dubai was unimaginable and record-breaking. They wanted a building so tall that not only would it be the tallest building in the world, but also be 62% taller than the second tallest building. The difference between the tallest and second tallest would discourage anyone attempting to break its record. Before Burj Khalifa, the previous world's tallest buildings were about 5 to 10% taller than their predecessor. At most, 19% taller. But here, they were aiming to build it 829 meters tall, a difference of 62%. It took about 5.5 years to construct this building, and on 1st October 2009, the construction of the Burj Al Khalifa ended, and this building left the world astounded. After the success of Burj Khalifa, several countries announced that they'll build even taller buildings. Many attempted it, but till now, all plans have flopped. It has been more than 13 years, and till now, the record set by Burj Khalifa remains unbeaten. Why? Why is it so difficult to beat this record? And practically speaking, how tall can the buildings built by humans be? Come, in this video, let's try to understand this. When the Burj in Dubai is complete, it will be the tallest structure that mankind has ever built on the face of the planet, until someone builds an even bigger one. This is the story of the tallest tower mankind has ever built, hauled a mile high. Friends, for about 4,000 years, the tallest structure built by humans was built around 2,500 BC as a tomb for the pharaoh Khufu. Its height is 145 meters. This record was broken only after the 1300s, when a cathedral was built in England that was approximately 160 meters tall. For the next 500 years, this record was beaten by a series of churches until the Eiffel Tower was built in 1889. But then, Eiffel Tower isn't precisely a building. It's not a building in which people can stay or work in. In terms of proper buildings, this building by Chicago Home Insurance, built in 1884, is known as the world's first skyscraper. This was a building built for humans. Where people went to work, it was used as an office space. Before this, the previous tall structures were either built for monarchs or for gods. This was a major turning point in human history, though this building was only 55 meters tall, shorter than the Great Pyramid of Giza. But only after this did we get the innovation and technology that we could build habitable skyscrapers. When the competition to build tall buildings began, it was limited to New York and Chicago, because America was the world's largest and most productive economy till the end of the 19th century. And these two cities were central to the most economic boom. Many people wanted to live in these cities. Big companies wanted big office spaces. And to accommodate people better in the city, these skyscrapers had to be built. Some honorable mentions here: New York's Empire State Building. It remained the world's tallest building from 1931 to 1971. It held the record for 40 years. And in the modern context, it held the record for the longest time. It was beaten in 1971 by another building in New York, the World Trade Center at 417 meters, 9% taller than Empire State Building's 381 meters in 1998, the competition spread out of America and shifted towards Asia. When the Petronas Towers were built in Kuala Lumpur at the height of 452 meters, they held the status of the world's tallest building till 2004, after which it was beaten by Taipei 101. And in 2009, with the biggest margin, Burj Khalifa beat all of them, from 510 meters to 829 meters. Initially, when Burj Khalifa was being planned, its initial proposed height was around 550 meters. During planning, they kept on increasing the height until it was as tall as we know. At that time, the brief of the tower was to design a tower which was 550 meters, which was then slightly taller than the world record holder at that time, which was Taipei 101. We learned as we got into the project that we could go higher, and there was a desire to go higher and not only break the record by a little bit, but we could break it by a big margin. The reason was that in the downtown area of Dubai, this building would be the centerpiece attraction. Before the 1990s, Dubai was basically a village for fishing and pearl diving. That had discovered oil recently. But by the late 1990s and the early 2000s, the leaders in Dubai wanted to diversify their economy, to move beyond the dependence on oil. They wanted to make Dubai an international tourism hub. To grab international attention and to bring foreign investment, they had to do something to surprise the world. Friends, Burj Khalifa is so tall that if you jump out from its top, it will take you 13 seconds to fall to the ground. The Burj Khalifa in future. Here, it is interesting to note that over the last 12 years, even though no building could beat the Burj Khalifa, of the 20 tallest buildings currently, 17 have been built after the Burj Khalifa, such as the Merdeka 118 at 679 meters, under construction in Kuala Lumpur. It will be officially inaugurated in mid-2023. But it has already become the second tallest building in the world, though it's a commendable effort. But 679 meters is still far from 829 meters. But several buildings have been planned to be taller than the Burj Khalifa, of which at least 2 of the buildings are already under construction. The first is the Jeddah Tower in Saudi Arabia. If it is constructed as planned, it will be the first building to exceed the height of 1 kilometer. Its design is quite similar to the Burj Khalifa because both buildings have the same architect. Once again, Adrian Smith followed the Y-shaped design to bring in structural integrity. Once again, the purpose for building this is to diversify Saudi Arabia's economy so that it doesn't need to rely on oil only. Similar to the Burj Khalifa, this building would be used to build a new district, Jeddah Economic City. The construction of this building began in 2013, and about 1/4 of the tower was constructed, but unfortunately, in early 2018, the construction was halted. Since then, the construction hasn't restarted. The thing is, between 2017 to 2019, there was an anti-corruption purge in Saudi Arabia, and the major investors investing in this project were arrested. And then the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and the delay still continues. Publicly, no one knows when the construction will restart. But if it is restarted, this is the only building that can break Burj Khalifa's record. The second project that has a high potential is in Dubai, the Dubai Creek Tower. This creek tower, designed by a Spanish architect, will be an observation tower in Dubai. It was planned around 2016 to 2018, and the foundation has been laid already. But the construction is stopped here as well. Originally, it was planned to be inaugurated during the 2020 Expo, but it couldn't happen. The exact height of this tower has not been revealed yet, but it is believed to be between 838 meters to 1,300 meters. This tower may beat the Jeddah Tower in terms of height, but this tower will not fit into the tallest building category because, as per the plans, there will be no residential or commercial spaces here. This is being planned as a simple observation deck, such as the Eiffel Tower. But the construction is halted here as well, and we do not know when and if it will restart. So if not these two, which buildings can beat the Burj Khalifa in future? This question takes an imaginary turn here, because the rest of the planned projects have been planned and announced, but work on them hasn't started yet. 10 is KB, such as the Mubarak Al-Kabir Tower planned in Kuwait. Proposed in 2007, it was supposed to be 1,001 meters tall. Its overall design was quite similar to that of the Burj Khalifa, but construction has not begun on it. So no one can estimate when it will be built. It is only a proposed plan now. If this sounds like an amazing plan, an even more astounding plan is the Sky Mile Tower in Tokyo. A Egi Eges Het Tized Kilometer Megas Epule, for 500,000 people to live. Look at the photos of this proposed building. Its overall shape is similar to Burj Khalifa's. But if such a tall tower has to be built, it will be very challenging to control the winds. This is why there are these big gaps in the proposed design, so that the winds can flow through the building. These are proper vertical slots, and this project is included in a visionary megacity project, known as the Next Tokyo. The Japanese government will try to build a Next Tokyo near Tokyo. Till now, the plan is entirely theoretical. Construction hasn't begun. But if it does begin, it is estimated that it will be completed by 2045. Overall, there's little chance that even in the next 25 years, there will be a building that can beat the design of Burj Khalifa. The innovative design that made it possible for Burj Khalifa to be so tall. Even in the past 10 years, there were several projects for buildings taller than 800 meters that were planned and then later canceled, such as in 2012 in Azerbaijan, a 1-kilometer tall building was planned. It was later canceled. In 2013, China planned to build an 838-meter tall sky city scraper. Due to environmental concerns, this didn't receive government approval. This project was canceled in 2016. The plans beyond Tokyo's Sky Mile Tower, plans for taller buildings, are so imaginary that they belong to the science fiction category, such as the plan for Tokyo's Exceed 4000 building, a visionary project of building such a tall structure in Tokyo, a 4-kilometer tall building, taller than Mount Fuji, with 1 million people living in it. It will look like this, like a mountain. This was planned in 1995, but this is only a plan. No work has been done on this. Another such plan is to build a space elevator, a cabled structure so tall that it will take you to space, to ease transport between Earth and space. This is a theoretical concept that can be discussed in a separate video, and even so, it won't fit into the building category, so there's no use discussing this in this video. The question remains practically, how tall can we build? The structural engineer of Burj Khalifa Bill Baker claims that if we use a modified version of the buttressed core, we can possibly build a building with a height of more than 2 miles. He says it's possible to build a building taller than 3 kilometers. He even claims that, theoretically, we can build a building taller than Mount Everest. But practically, the problem would be the taller the building gets, the more weight you put on the floors at the bottom. The force on the lower levels of the building and the force of the strong winds at the top of the building will be the two major challenges in building the tallest building possible. We can definitely use innovative design, engineering, and construction techniques, but what will happen if your material gives up? As of now, the materials that we know of, such as concrete, steel, aluminum, all have a limit. If we want to exceed these limits, we will need to invent such materials that are lighter and more durable than these. A promising material that is said to be is carbon fiber. Lightweight fibers made of carbon, woven like a mesh. It is stronger and lighter than steel, and perhaps it will enable us to build taller buildings. But before these complex engineering problems, there will be the problem of the human body. As buildings cross the mark of 1.5 kilometers to 3 kilometers, the altitude will be so high that there will be differences in the air pressure. If you've gone to Leh Ladakh, you would have noticed how for the first couple of days there you suffer nausea and dizziness because your body needs to acclimatize due to the lower oxygen levels at the height. When you climb a mountain, this can happen slowly, but if we built such a tall building that's 2 kilometers tall, when you take the elevator to instantly go from the ground floor to the top, your body will face the same problems unless the air pressure is controlled inside the building. First of all, this will be extremely expensive, and secondly, it will mean that balconies cannot be constructed on higher floors. And even if you made them, no one would be allowed to go there. These things will need to be kept in mind. And even before the human body's problems is the socio-economic limitations. The biggest problem why such buildings aren't built: money. There's no guarantee that each building will be as successful as Burj Khalifa, that there will be such levels of economic boom around it